Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Debbie and I'm on the creative design team at Sizzix, and good things come in small packages, right? Well, nothing better than this adorable little treat box from Jen Ogborn, one of our Chapter 3 collection die sets. It's a thinlet, and I'm going to walk you through all the little tips and tricks to create this with a little embossed design on it, how to put together the ribbon, how to put together the box, and whether you're going to fill it up with little jewelry pieces, a little piece of candy, some little inspirational notes and quotes. How cute is this? A perfect wedding favor to leave at the table for all of your guests that are there, bridal shower, birthday, however. But I'm going to walk you through how to create this little box, and you're going to absolutely love it, and you're going to be ready to purchase it.
So if you can see, I have a little embossed design here that I use the Stars and Lights multi-level folder. I only laid it on top of just the scalloped edge flap, so the rest of the box will be solid, and then you can see the little pattern on here. You could leave it completely flat, no embossed design, but that just adds a little whimsy and fun to the project. Now the die set is a treat box, like it's called. It's got the two little flaps that are scalloped and the ribbon with the center of the ribbon as well, and also the little tails of the bow as if it was tied. The die set comes with a little confetti pieces. It cuts hearts, stars, and circles of different sizes. It's a 5-piece thinlet die set. You can use it on any of your big shop machines with the platform. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through it. The die itself creates, as you can see, 2 of the flaps. Now, as you know, a box has 4 sides. So you're going to have to cut this 2 times, but all the other pieces for the ribbon and the base of the ribbon and the center of the bow, you only need to cut once. So let me go ahead and show you how the fun begins. So I'm going to take the actual box set. Let me use one full piece just so you can see that you can cut it with a half a sheet of paper to create one full box. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to position it. I want to make sure I can use as much of the die cut and the paper as I can. So to be able to create one full box out of a half a sheet of paper, I'm going to lay this down in an area so I know that I'm able to cut another full box out of one whole side of paper. So let me position this here, give myself enough room, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this through. Now, if I wanted to do the ribbon in the white also, then I could lay this down, but I want to make sure that I'm positioning it in an area where I'm able to still fit the other side of the box. So if you're not sure about that, you can just do it one at a time and just use the little areas that you have on a scratch piece of paper to do that. So just to be sure, I'm going to do this one, especially because the bow is going to be in the gold. So I'm going to go ahead, run this through. So I've got the score lines. You can see they're perfectly scored right there, ready to fold. And then you're going to go ahead and score them. But what I want to do first is I want to emboss it. I just wanted you to see how perfectly aligned up the score lines are for this die set. So for this second piece, I'm going to position it here and make sure I have an area that's perfect. So save these pieces, because if later you want to do a bow in this pearly paper, you can go ahead and position it on this part. So never throw out your scraps. And I'm using our ivory opulent cardstock, and this is the pearl finish. I don't know if you can see the little shimmer on there. Let me go ahead and run this one through. Okay, I've got the 4 sides of the box ready to assemble. Let me put these off to the side. Now I'm going to take my gold opulent cardstock. This is also the pearl, and I'm going to do the bow. Now, what I like to do, especially because you can see that this cutting pad has a lot of love on it, doesn't ruin the cutting pad, you just want to flip it regularly, but I know it's going to show up on my extra side pieces that I'm using when the pressure hits the cardstock. So I want to avoid that from happening. So I'm only going to cut a small piece. I mean, I could run this whole thing through like this, but this part you would start seeing the markings, especially on a metallic, from the cutting pad. So I'm only going to cut the amount of pieces, a section of cardstock of the size that I need, because I don't want to ruin any extra pieces that would have this scratchy image on it from my cutting pad. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that down there like that. And then I'm going to run this through. And these are the small pieces that you want to make sure you use the die pick to get them out. Now your die pick won't ruin your cardstock. You've got these little poke holes, and just tap it a little bit, it'll come right through. And this is the pearl. How pretty is that? Same with the little base of the little tails of the ribbon and the center of the bow. So I've got all the 3 pieces ready to go. And I have the 4 sides of the box. Now I want to show you how I put together, or how I did the embossing for the box. Now I only want the box to be embossed on this scalloped edge here. So like even though I'm using the pearl cardstock, I still like to mist it a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead, just with a little water mister, I'm going to mist it off camera so we don't get the workspace all damp. And I'm using the Stars and Lights multi-folder. It's one of those from the same release. It has little Christmas lights and tiny stars, but I only want just the scalloped edge to be embossed. So I'm just going to line it up here. If I wanted the whole box to be, I could, and I did that on another one. I'll show you in a minute when I'm all done. But I'm just going to line it up here. Let me get some of those droplets of water off. Since this is pearl, it has a slight little slick finish, and I didn't want the droplets to be on there. So I'm going to lay the wrong side of the paper against the positive side of the embossing folder. And I'm going to line it up right there. You can just kind of line it with the score mark. And if it shifts, just move it over just a little bit so it's right there on the edge. Line it right up there like that. Now, since this is a 3D folder, you only need the platform and you only need 1 cutting pad. Now I'm going to hold it down, make sure it doesn't shift. Shift it a little bit, so let me just guide it over. And I'm going to tilt slightly my embossing folder just so, like I said, it'll hit it at the roller at an angle. And since it's just a small area, you can kind of feel where it's going to stop. And I'm going to do it again, and just one more time. 3D, 3 times. And you can see the little design, how that perfectly embossed that. So let me go ahead and do the final one. Do a little spritz off here. Wipe off the droplets. And then I'm going to repeat it also on this side. Now on the Big Shot in any of our machines, well, except for the switch, you can feed it from the opposite side. So since I started it on this side before, I'm going to start it on this side here. So it doesn't matter which way you feed it from, you just want to make sure, you just would turn the handle the opposite way. And let me make sure that doesn't slip. I'm going to hold it down and run it through. Any little pattern. This one has a cute little stars on it. So, I mean, can you imagine how cute it would be with snowflakes or how it would be with little hearts? So here you go. And there we have it. So let me move the machine off side. And then I'm going to go ahead and put it together. So I'm going to fold it on the score lines. And they're real evident, so they're easy to see. If you can see them there. All the tabs as well. Do both sides. And find my other one. Here it is. Fold it in the sides. I mean, look how cute this is. You could put jewelry in there. You could put a little sweet treat in there. You could put inspirational quotes, like I said, or roll up some money, Who wouldn't love that? But at a wedding, you wouldn't want to give anybody money. But it would be so special, like little candies. And I remember for my wedding, we did Jordan almonds. And I think the saying is, if you put Jordan almonds in there, it's kind of a good luck thing. And the saying goes, marriage can be hard but sweet. So Jordan almonds have that candy coating, and it has an almond on the inside. It's kind of a special little thing. Or truffles or something would be cute inside of here also. So I'm gonna show you how to put this together with some adhesive. And I'm going to take my tape runner. You could use any kind of adhesive. You use your express glue or any side of double-sided tape that you wish. And I'm gonna go ahead and adhere that down to the inside. Now you're gonna line up your area so the scalloped edges are facing each other. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay this down. So I will have the score line against the straight edge, and then the score line kind of matching it up here like this. So if you can see how I did that. Now it's up to you if you want to adhere all the 4 tabs to each other, or they can open it up like this. But to kind of give it more of a substantial closure, I'm going to go ahead and put the little adhesive on all these 4 tabs. And then, oops, that didn't get in there. And then you're going to match up, you're going to close it up like this, and you're going to match the straight edge against the score line on this panel here. The straight edge against the score line on this side here. And the straight edge against the score line on this side. And this side here. Make sure that's adhered down. And there we have it. Now, if you wish, put your little treat inside the box, of course. And then, if you wish, when you close up this part here, you could take a piece of ribbon, thread it through, and tie it in a little knot. So I have a little skinny ribbon here. And then I'm going to thread it through on this side as well. I'm going to draw it through. Make sure it's not twisted. And if you tie it in a bow, the knot will be a little thick and it will not close as evenly at the top. So I'm just going to tie it in a loose little knot. Well, not loose because you want it to stay closed, but not too bulby of a knot. Just kind of leave it flat like that. Got some sticky scissors. Time to do some cleaning on my cutting tools here. And I've got that all closed up with the ribbon. I'm going to close it up there like that. So I'm going to take a little adhesive dot and I'm just going to put it on the bottom of the center little scalloped edge there. So you've got the little dot there. I'm going to go ahead and close it up. What I like to do next is just to put one of my little tools underneath, doesn't matter which one, and just press it up against there so I'll know that that'll stay closed. And it's closed, ready to go, and I'm going to put the ribbon on it in a second. So I'm going to go ahead, now that this is all closed up, and show you how to assemble the ribbon that I've already cut. Let me move my mat over here like this. Now what I like to do for the bow part, I like to make sure it has a rounded edge, especially since I'm using the opulent paper. I want to make sure that I'm not going to get crease marks. I'd rather just be a smooth curve to the ribbon. So I'm going to take my fold and form tool and I'm just going to move it around this way and just guide it around kind of in a rounded fashion, just so the curves of the ribbon will be nicely formed instead of folded with a crease line. and just kind of makes it more of a realistic ribbon. And then these two little pieces here in the center, they meet up right there in the middle. I'm going to do a little dab of hot glue there. There's a truck honking outside. Hope you didn't hear that. But this is such a cute little box. It's such a fun project, and you have an event that's coming up and you know you need time to put it all together. Have a little assembly line. Your bridesmaids would love to help you put this together. Just show them how to do it, and then they will be sold and they'll be using it on their next event. So how fun is that little ribbon? So that's ready to go. Next piece is this. This is that little center part of your ribbon. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to use it on this smoother side here. I'm going to line it up, make sure it's where I want it to be. And then I'm going to put a dab of hot glue in the center. Now this will be the bottom. You don't want to put a lot, but you just want to make sure it's going to stay put. And you fold it down. Then I'm going to take my tweezers to make sure it stays put while it's drying. I love these tweezers because you let go and it stays just as it should be. So while it's drying, I'm going to put another little dab of hot glue here in the center of this piece here. Now I'm going to position my ribbon down there on that. Look how pretty that all comes together. I love that. Now it's ready to adhere. Now it's up to you. Personal preference. Do you want it with the tabs going inward, or do you want it the opposite way? I think I did it this way on my original. If I can see where I put it. There it is. Yeah, I did it like that. So maybe I'll do it the opposite this time. Just a little bit of dab of glue on there. That way, whatever's inside, it'll be so exciting for them to open up. They won't have to struggle because you just did a little tiny dab. And how sweet and precious is this box? I mean, filled with something special that they will remember your special day in. Even on the inside, if you put a little thank you note inside, cut to the same exact size as this and just put it on the inside. Sprinkle it maybe with some of the confetti. Here's a little bit of the pieces that I've pre-cut. How cute is that? Just kind of sprinkle it on there. Sprinkle these onto the table. How great would that table setting be? Not with the gray background, but I just love the way that looks. So leave an inspirational quote, like I said, or thank you so much for joining us on our special day. Sprinkle some of the confetti inside. What a great little keepsake. And since it's such a cute little box, they'll be careful opening it and they can reuse it again when they're giving it to somebody as a little trinket or a little gift. So let me show you a few other projects that I made with the same die set using the same technique. Now this one is using our opulent, but it's our mirror finish. So if you can see, it's all shiny, 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 the whole thing. And I embossed the entire box itself. So that's using the opulent ivory in the mirror finish. Here's the same idea. This is the same opulent gold, but I used all pearl and nothing's embossed. It's just all full, flat, no embossed design. That's very elegant. How beautiful is that for a 50th wedding anniversary gift? Or even if somebody's theme is gold, this is a beautiful gift for their party, or just for you to give them a little something inside as well. Just a thank you, a little hostess gift. I just love the size. They're all so darn cute. And the last one I did, now you don't have to do the tail of this ribbon. You can just do the bow itself. This one I used our floral borders. It's the layered stencil set that's coming from the same chapter, and I use that on our stencil and stamp tool with a little bit of our effects, the pearlescent, I believe, and then some distress ink. So I just did the last two stencils from this die set, from the stencil set. That is the the floral borders, and I just did it on the scalloped edge. So whether you're going to do the scalloped edge with a stencil design or with the embossed design, look how different that is. I mean, this is so sweet just for a birthday or coming over to somebody's house and, you know, just because. I love it. Oops, I love it just because gift. But this is the best. It's such a happy little set. I love all things tiny and mini, and this to me made my day, and I'm having so much fun doing it. And later on, as the days and months go by, there's going to be some other inspirational ideas that you can do with this die set. So a 5-piece die set filled with so many wonderful ideas. You're going to absolutely love it.
Remember, it's the little things in life, and something left inside of this little box for all of your guests at your wedding. How special is this? And they're sure to open it with a smile. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.